right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for joining me and meeting with me. So, throughout the month of February, we're trying to connect with as many Black professionals as possible to just kind of highlight what we're doing in the community. So, if you would please start by telling me a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you help our community.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity and I love this platform that you are providing for Black professionals. My name is Ashley Black and I am the managing attorney for the Black firm. We are a business, estate planning, and probate law firm here in Georgia, specifically in the Atlanta area. Our office is located in Duluth. And so basically, what I do is I'm an attorney and I assist people with planning for their passing. With probate, we assist people when a loved one or family member has passed away to assist them through that process. And then we also assist business owners with preparing their business contract review. Pretty much anything business related, our firm handles that as well.
Awesome. And what, if any, challenges? And I know I am, of course, in the estate planning space. So, what, if any, challenges can you discuss that you've encountered um, in our community? And what have you actually been able to do to overcome that?
Yeah, that's a great question. When it comes to just estate planning, probate, and even business law, I think the biggest challenge is just the education that people have about the importance of estate planning, preparing yourself, or even knowing how the probate process goes. And so, what I found, a lot in our community is that people just aren't aware of what they need, how to go about it. I've even, spoken with people and I've mentioned to them I'm an estate planning attorney, and they're like, "What's estate planning?" And so that has been a big challenge for us, just trying to get the information out to our community on exactly what it is and why it's important and why they should have it. And we specifically saw a lot more of these challenges when the pandemic started. And that's when people started to realize, these are things that I should have in place and I don't. And they were, kind of in a panic because, someone may have COVID, they're in the hospital, they didn't have a power of attorney, and now they're trying to figure out how to do things quickly. And so we actually worked with a lot of people during the pandemic to, number one, get their estate plans prepared, but also to educate them on the importance of it.
And I know one thing that I hear all the time in the community when I talk to people are people who say that I don't even have an estate. I have nothing.
Mhm.
So what is your typical response when people say I don't have an estate and therefore I don't need to do any type of estate plan?
Yeah. So my first response is always that you have yourself. A lot of people think about estate planning only in the aspect of if I pass away, my things are going to go to someone, or we're talking about assets. But there's a whole nother aspect of estate planning, which we're talking about your power of attorney and your advanced healthcare directive that is going to handle what happens to you if you're ever incapacitated. So a lot of times with, my clients who always say, I don't have a lot and I don't need an estate plan. I always say to them, you at least need to take care of yourself, or to make sure that someone is there that's going to properly take care of you if you're ever in a state of incapacity. So that's kind of my go-to line for clients who are talking about specifically assets and don't think that they have enough for an estate plan.
Good deal. And a lot of people, especially now in our communities, talk all the time about building generational wealth.
Mhm.
That seems to be the one thing that everyone seems to want to do. What do you do in your firm to assist with building generational wealth in our community? And what are some of the tips that you could give people on what they can do on their own or by working with a professional such as yourself?
Of course, that's a great question. So I have a sign in my office, and it says you can't build generational wealth without an estate plan. That's a big thing for me to let people know that that's a part of it. If you're going to pass down assets to your generations behind you, how do you plan on doing that without an estate plan? And so we are big on educating people on preparing their estate plan specifically for that purpose. If they are interested in building wealth, generational wealth, we also assist them with just coming up with ideas to start new businesses, having additional streams of income. Even where there are services that we don't specifically provide, we always try to send them to other professionals that would be able to assist them with those things. So, like financial planning and things of that sort. So, we always tell people, if you want to build generational wealth, you're going to have a plan, whether it's a state, whether it's a financial plan, but have some sort of plan in place, and then work with professionals like myself to start your business or prepare your estate plan so that you ensure that your assets and the wealth that you are trying to build is going to be passed down to whom you want it to be passed down to.
Can you share a time where you have specifically seen wealth completely lost because someone didn't do something real simple that would have allowed them to keep that in their family?
Yeah, I specifically know of an instance here in Gwinnett County, and one of the heirs was my clients, and they lost over 107 acres of land because the heirs before them didn't have a simple will. And so we've seen that in the past. It's hard to kind of figure out if it's going on now because a lot of times people aren't aware of it, of land that may have been left down to them through an inheritance. But specifically, I did have a client recently that went through that, and so that 107 acres was lost to the county because the generations before them didn't have a specific plan on how it was going to be distributed, and didn't really know how the heirs were going to, because it was so many heirs involved. And so, that's another big thing when it comes to real property. I always tell my clients, a lot of times we don't realize that that is a major asset that can be passed down to your heirs that are going to be left behind. Even if you have a mortgage on your house, there may be equity. Or if there's land that your grandmother left to you, even though you may not be doing something with it now, it could be worth a lot of money in the future. And so, specifically that instance, because it was so close to home, because I live in Gwinnett County, I know that family. It was shocking, but it was a truth of what reality is going on, that a lot of people aren't aware of, and has been going on for a while now.
Exactly. And then sometimes when people are in these types of situations, they get upset because big companies sweep through and they're able
Mhm.
to buy their family land for the low, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word. And then that's when they become aware, like you said.
Exactly.
So the Black law firm, what type of impact do you hope to have through the Black law firm in our community and beyond? What can you share about that?
Yeah, I want to be a firm that educates. That's really important to me. I understand that it's hard to. A lot of people don't trust lawyers. Let's just be honest. And so I want to be the firm where we can be a go-to for people, where they can trust us. Even if it's an area of law where we don't 100% practice in, we can send them to someone that we trust, and that's going to provide them with great service. And then also on the educational standpoint, I want people to know, the Black firm is a law firm that I'm able to touch. So I saw the attorney, at a seminar, and I asked her questions and she answered them to me. That's why we provide free consultations for especially probate and estate planning clients. So we really want to educate people on the importance of the areas that we practice in, and so that's what I hope to, when people say the Black firm, that it's an attorney and a law firm that they actually trust and can go to with their issues.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. I greatly appreciate you sharing the time with me this morning and sharing about your firm and your impact in the community. I hope that you will continue to be on this journey with me as we help our communities retain their wealth and hopefully be proactive about planning.
Definitely. And thank you again for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited about this platform that you're providing for us. And I hope to, like you said, continue this journey and to learn from you as well, because there are not a lot of us estate planning attorneys out there that look like us. And so, for the ones that are out there helping our community, and not just our community, I always tell people that, I don't just service, people that look like me, I service everyone. But I have a special, place for people like me, because I want them to understand that there are attorneys that look like you, that are looking out for your best interests and just want the best for not only our community, but all communities out there.
Yeah, exactly. And let's be honest, you're absolutely right. This has traditionally been in an older white male industry.
Yes.
So there's really no other way for me to say it but to just come out and say it. So
Right.
it's awesome to meet not only other people of color, but other women who are
Hmm.
out there doing their thing. So
Yes.
I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ashley. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.